joined by Vern, and this is Squad Pod Sports. We're bringing our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. A lot of crazy stuff been happening within the sports world.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly, we will talk about a little bit, MLB going through some stuff.
Talking about
right now.
canceling months of baseball potentially, so who knows what's going on with that.
Yeah, and we never really talk about baseball, so it's something big's going down.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. Of course, we got some NFL news here this week. You want to talk about the before draft power rankings? The combine is this week.
Yep.
Ramping up towards the draft. So just a little extra NFL coverage this week, and of course NBA news, NBA hot and not list, because NBA is in full effect again for the second half of the season after the All-Star game.
I'm out here praying for my Lakers every night, man. It's not good, but we'll cover what's going on lately.
I'm praying for Chicago get healthy right now, because we're playing some tough games. We need it right now. So of course we'll talk about NBA, of course MLB stuff, maybe a little hockey if we get to it, and then bias bubble, crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So we'll hop right into what are the power rankings for the NFL here before the draft.
Okay.
Aaron, what you got?
And I think this was NFL.com. So this isn't necessarily my list. My list might be a little bit different, but this is what they think pre-draft going into the combine and everything here with the preseason. Well, way before preseason, we'll say off-season. But they have the Rams number 1. Okay, surprisingly, even though we're not 100% sure what that team's going to look like next year, they still have them number 1, which well-deserved, king of heavy lie the crown, just whatever somebody takes it from them, then they could, fall off. But then they have the Chiefs at number 2, which I probably would have the Chiefs number 3 personally. I would have the
Bills at number 2.
I would have the Bills number 2, who are at number.
That makes sense.
They're number 3 on this list, so I would flip that a little bit there. But Buffalo number 3, who I expect to be better next year than they were this year. Even they're on a great trajectory there. And then they do have the Bengals 4, which I was looking at some other lists, and a lot of other lists didn't even have the Bengals in the top 5. But this list has them on the number 4 going into the draft here.
They're giving them a little bit of respect here.
Give them a little bit of respect, and then even though there's question marks everywhere, they have the Packers number 5, which, if they have everybody we expect them to have, then yeah, they're a top 5 team for sure. They might be top 3, but I think with all the question marks, nobody really wants to put too much weight on them, but that's what they have so far here, which are all familiar faces, but the order is very interesting there.
Yeah, definitely.
One notable one notable dismissal, I'll say, is Arizona, who we talked about a lot. Like, they've been terrible over the last maybe 5 to 6, 8, maybe even longer games, so they're a team that really should be up there. They might be 6 or 7 potentially, but they were out.
Yeah, we talked about them last week. That was one of our big surprises for the year, was just how they just tanked there towards the end. Hold on one second. Just noticed my shit wasn't plugged in.
What?
Like my Ethernet cable, it was going off of Wi-Fi, and I just didn't want the connection to break up.
Oh, good. I could cut it right there.
But is that the end of the list?
Yep. That was it. Just those top 5 there.
Oh,
the list went on. I just wanted to bring the top 5 there.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right, so we'll go right into the NFL news here for the week. We got a decent bit here. Apparently, is it Siren Neal or Siren Neal for Buffalo? I don't know how to pronounce his first name.
I don't personally know.
It's the cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. They agreed to a 3-year deal up to $10.9 million. So they locked down another corner there in Buffalo.
Okay.
The Bengals are going to be franchise tagging Jesse Bates if their extension cannot be reached, and it's not looking like it at this point. So it's looking like they're going to be franchise tagging him.
Make sure he sticks around. More time for negotiations.
Yeah, and since we talked last week about the franchise tag, nobody has been officially tagged as of yet. So it's just open. It's an open window as of right now. And probably one of the most surprising news of the week, apparently Tom Brady is producing and starring in a movie with Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, and Sally Field. It's called 80 for Brady, and it's like a road trip movie. I guess it's about like a group of women that have been going to the Super Bowl for all these years, and then I guess it leads up to, I think it's like the 2017 or 2016 Super Bowl with Tom Brady. But I don't know. It's just weird that Tom Brady's like producing in it and he's starring in it. You know, it seems like it was his idea or something.
Interesting. Like he just instantly wants to go to Hollywood, you know.
Well, I mean, it had to have been in the works for a while, I feel, because it was just announced and it seemed like they had everything already kind of like put together for it.
Yeah.
You know? Like he's been planning it.
At least most of it was probably done already. You know, maybe all the stuff with him, they needed to wait for the off season for him to get eliminated or something, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I just it's weird. Is that's what we're going to be seeing like Tom Brady do now? Just
He's be a movie star
doing whatever
now.
He wants, just making movies. You know, I might go model over here for a little bit.
You're not done seeing him. You're not done seeing Tom Brady.
Might do some commentating here and there. Who knows?
I might pop up, you know, next to Snoop Dogg on GGN one of these days. Yeah, you know, who knows?
That would be a crazy episode of GGN. That'd be wild.
We'll get Tom Brady on the pod here. Come on, Brady.
Hey, man. Hey, he's more than welcome on the pod.
Brady, I got a picture of you up there, man. Come on, like.
But speaking of commentating everything, apparently Troy Aikman is expected to leave Fox and could be heading to ESPN for Monday Night Football.
For a ton of dough.
I
saw that. I was like,
Troy
man.
Aikman looking for a new home.
I would leave for that much, like, of a raise, you know, like, I mean, they're already making millions regardless, but geez, like, and to be honest, I don't really care about him too much anyway, so I don't care where he goes. I wouldn't mind not hearing him talk about football, to be honest, but he's got a deal somewhere, so.
I care more about, like, Al Michaels than Troy Aikman,
and
you know.
Tony Romo.
Yeah, he's all right. He's been annoying me a little bit here and there as of recently.
Tony Romo's the man. Tony Romo's the man.
But for the most part, I like Tony Romo. Tight end Ian Thomas, who's scheduled to be a free agent next month, reached an agreement with the Panthers on a 3-year deal.
Okay.
So he's going to be staying in Carolina there.
Staying put.
Fox Sports are reportedly talking to Sean Payton about replacing Troy Aikman in the booth.
That makes sense, especially if it's just like a temporary fill for them, you know, because Sean Payton is probably going to end up coaching again in the league, so that makes sense. See that happening.
You think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Nick going to come back for sure?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Pete Carroll's still coaching. Cowboys.
He's going to coach somebody. Pete Carroll's still coaching. Bill Belichick's still coaching. I think Sean Payton will be back eventually. Even Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer took some time off and he came back, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
Peterson.
And Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Some people just need some time away.
Speaking of another damn coach that just keeps coaching, didn't happen the way we predicted it. But Matt Nagy is now a senior assistant / quarterbacks coach for the Chiefs.
Now I'm gonna officially take this down. We had it written that I'm sorry, camera. Jags coaching, Doug Peterson head coach, Matt Nagy offensive coordinator, but we were wrong.
Half of it was true.
50%.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Take that.
Close, though. And I saw a rumor today, and I saw it a couple times on Twitter, that like they're considering, like, apparently the Chiefs are looking at Nagy as a potential successor to Reid if he retires in the next couple years. And I just, like, what in the world would make the Chiefs even believe that after looking at his resume with, like, the Bears, like, as a head coach?
They're going to ruin Pat Mahomes.
They gonna and he's a quarterbacks coach. They're gonna ruin Pat Mahomes with Matt Nagy. Come on now.
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry,
so,
Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
I would take that news with a huge grain of salt.
Pat Mahomes got everything in the world against him, man. He got his family causing all this drama. He got Matt Nagy as his offensive coordinator now, like, or whatever. Just like, it's ridiculous, man. Come on.
And they're still one of the top teams. You know, they make it to the Super Bowl possibly every year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sean McVay told ESPN that he's not going to be pursuing television opportunities, and he's going to try to run it back for another title with the Rams.
He's like, call me next year.
Call me next year. If we win, or probably maybe if we lose too. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. He's got so much coaching left in him. I don't even know why he would leave, man.
Maybe he just doesn't have the passion that he used to. Like, Everybody's
like,
different.
Won a Super Bowl now.
So I'm done.
Make that
he's
team
been coaching
money
for years. Even though he's so young, he's been coaching for years. You know, not a head coach, but he's been in the league for years.
That's true. And hey, he can make buku bucks and on TV, man, ESPN or whatever, way more than you would coaching.
Yeah,
sure. The Colts are possibly hiring Reggie Wayne as the team's new wide receivers coach.
Nice.
Apparently nothing's finalized, but there's been talks about it, and that's pretty cool, man.
Nice.
You know, bringing him back in some form and within the organization.
A legend.
The Tampa, Colts legend. Buccaneers Pro Bowl guard Ali Marpet announced his retirement. You know, he's only 28 years old. He played for 7 years. He decided to call it quits. Said, 7 years, you may sound short, but, you know, the toll that it takes on someone's body, especially like a guard, you know, within 7 years, you know, getting beat around, getting concussions, broken fingers, whatever,
everything, every week.
They go through a beating.
Even during practices, things like that, you know, so it makes sense.
I mean, you won a Super Bowl and everything.
Yeah.
Got to play with Tom Brady.
Speaking of the Bucs, though, they're going to be the first NFL team to host the game in Germany. They haven't They haven't announced who they're going to play yet, but they said that the Bucs are going to be the home team. So I thought that was awesome. You know, that's going to be pretty cool. We'll see how that all ends up faring coming down the road here. You know what I mean? With shit that's going on. But anyway, I thought that was awesome that they're going to be able to go and become the first team to host a game in that country, you know.
Yeah, and they said the Packers, the Saints, and the Jaguars are going to be in London next year. And the Cardinals are going to be playing in Mexico, apparently.
Exactly.
But yeah, going to Germany, that's a huge step.
Yeah.
You know, bringing football even farther, and goes next, like, just another step towards our plan of just, you know, football around the world.
Exactly.
You know, we're going to have, like, worldwide leagues. We talked about this on the show before.
It'd be amazing, man. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the line, we get something like this going. We'll see.
Yeah, our Super Bowl champion would play, like, their league's champion to be the world champion. Like, that would be amazing, man.
Right.
I would love that.
They should build a private island to have the world championship game on.
Like, go back to Hawaii to play that game or something.
No, it could be on, like, no sovereign nation's ground. It'll just be like this, like, independent ass island, Super Bowl island. You know what I mean? With this giant stadium on it, the helipads,
like a no man's land.
Right. It would be crazy. That'd be awesome.
That would be, man. Like how during, like, the COVID, like, the pandemic and everything, like, UFC had, like, Fight Island.
Fight Island, exactly.
Now you just have, like, an island with just one stadium or whatever on it. You know, just one, like, field.
Super Bowl
just play
island.
On. That would be amazing. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the future, because this is going to keep ramping up, you know, from here on out.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
The popularity of the game has been rising and rising.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've had London games for how many years now, man? It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the next step. You know, they played in Mexico before, but now Germany, you know, that's a whole nother step.
Right.
And who knows where it's going to go from there. Apparently, the Colts submitted a proposal to ensure each team records an overtime possession in both playoffs and regular season. So they're trying to bring it back once again after removing that rule a couple years ago.
I hope it gets rejected.
And it was the Colts too. Like,
anything the Colts propose,
it wasn't even like the Bills or anybody that, like, a team that you know, like, that, you know, maybe lost at overtime.
The Colts are the ones responsible for Deflategate, not the Patriots. Okay, so I don't care. Anything the Colts suggest, shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut it down. You want to trade Carson Wentz? No.
No,
keep it.
You keep it because Deflategate. Shut it down.
And now this was kind of this story kind of blew up. Apparently, it was reported that the Dolphins plan to go after Tom Brady and Sean Payton for this season. You know, after, you know, the news of Brady retiring and then Sean Payton leaving the game, you know, taking a little hiatus. The Dolphins wanted to bring them together in Miami, and that would be pretty much the worst thing ever for a Patriots fan.
For me, yeah, that'd be terrible. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I saw reports about like now they're like they were thinking about bringing him in as like a part owner type of situation.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
how crazy would that be if Tom's just like, yeah, I'll buy into the Dolphins, like just his like division rival for all those years. Like, yeah, I'll own a part of them. Why not?
Derek Jeter like went and now I think is part owner of like Miami Marlins or something like that after being in New York for all those years. So like stuff like this happen. Look at Dwayne Wade. You know,
funny you bring that up, actually, because I was going to mention this earlier. Derek Jeter stepped down as the CEO of the Miami Marlins. I was going to save this for later in the show, but this was the perfect time to do it. Perfect segue. Derek Jeter stepped down as CEO of the Miami Marlins on February 28th.
Well, I must have missed that news. I didn't know about that.
Hey, but you were right, though. He was.
But we've seen stuff like this before. Like I said, Dwayne Wade with Utah or Denver. Who is he a part owner of now? I forget.
Denver. I'm pretty sure.
But after being in Miami all these years, Michael Jordan. Like, so.
You know, LeBron said he's going to be buying either a team or, a part ownership of a team after he retires. Right. Who knows?
So I could see Brady definitely owning a team in the future, if not part of the team.
Absolutely. He going to wait until Kraft, and he's gonna take it for he's gonna steal it from out under Kraft's kids.
I'd be so happy if Tom Brady owned the Patriots, man. That'd be amazing. Because
Kraft's kids would be so pissed. God,
they can work for us.
Tom Brady was more of a son than his kids were.
Yeah, it's in Robert Kraft's will that Tom Brady gets the Patriots, not his sons. Like, oh, like not Jonathan Kraft. Oh man, that'd be terrible.
And I mean, we might as well just stick on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. They actually announced in the 2023 season that they're going to be bringing back the old creamsicle uniforms.
Yes, and I'm glad Brady's no longer there, so we don't get to see Brady in a creamsicle
jersey. It would be so
jersey.
Weird and gross.
I don't want to see
disgusting uniforms. I don't know why people like them.
I like the helmets with the pirate, with the Buccaneers.
That's cool. I like that.
Cool.
I like the logo, but yeah, the jerseys themselves are.
Those jerseys, they look like practice. They should strictly be practice jerseys.
Yeah.
Not game jerseys.
And at the combine today, Bruce Arians was asked about if Tom Brady wanted to come back and go to another team if the Buccaneers would accommodate him, and he said, "Nope, that's bad business."
What you mean? Like, come on, now you think we're gonna just let Tom Brady go somewhere else and play? Like, well, you want Carolina to sign up? You want New Orleans to sign up? You want to be in our division? What else you gotta ask me? That's ridiculous.
He said, "Nope, bad for business."
Bad for business.
The Giants are not expected to pick up QB Daniel Jones' fifth-year option by the May deadline.
Danny Nichols.
Could be spell the end for old Danny Nichols.
Danny Nichols gonna go the way of Mitch Trubisky.
He gonna be Danny Pennies.
He's gonna be Danny Pennies. Oh man, if he goes somewhere else, he's gonna be Danny Pennies until he redeems himself.
Gets to a starting spot.
You can't even throw Nichols if you're a backup.
Yeah.
You just Danny Pennies at that point. So we'll see what happens with him, but future isn't looking bright,
Yeah. It's not looking bright at all. And I mean, he could go, the route of, you mentioned Mitch Trubisky, and I actually have him in my next part of the news here. Mitch Trubisky, I think, has more talent, definitely, than Daniel Jones. I think he did pretty well with pretty mediocre, talent there with the Bears, being under Matt Nagy as well. But, he went and played backup under Josh Allen, and now it's looking like the Steelers are interested in him. There's a couple other teams as well that are possibly interested in him, bringing him in as starting QB.
Steelers might not be a bad option, but it's going to be a lateral move.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other teams out there, that are in need of a QB as well that probably wouldn't be bad to take Mitchell Trubisky just because of this QB class isn't really that great.
Yeah.
Like little placeholder for the year or something.
Exactly.
Try it out.
Exactly. Everybody's holding out for Archie Manning.
Just waiting for old Archie Manning. Because he could be Tom Brady 2.0 or something.
What if
like
he goes to
he's
the
going to have
Giants?
all the intangibles of the NFL in college.
What if he goes to the Giants, man?
Oh my God, please no.
Or the Colts. Both teams could potentially be looking for quarterbacks in a couple years.
Not in the East, bro. I don't want to have to deal with Archie Manning. This dude's just going to be like, he's going to be elite before he comes to the NFL. He's just going to have all, Peyton and Eli teaching him.
He's going to have
all the ins and outs.
At least, what 3 Super Bowls between the two of them? You know what
Archie
I mean?
Manning's going to have like 5 Super Bowls by the time he's done somehow. Because he's going to have mobility too. Watch, he's going to be able to run.
Right.
He's not going to just chill it in the pocket.
Because he's from this generation, so like
yeah.
he's got that. He's going to be Lamar Jackson, Peyton Manning,
running.
Tom Brady, all mixed together in one. Oh,
it's going to be scary.
Good luck, Pat Mahomes.
Maybe Eagles will need a QB at that time.
Maybe
get old Manning.
Maybe he will. Mac Jones is the future.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers were looking at Malik Willis in this draft. But like I mentioned, they were looking at Mitchell Trubisky, apparently Teddy Bridgewater, and Jameis Winston as possible options as well. Pretty much anybody but Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins who are on the roster right now.
All those moves sound like just slightly better options than the 2 QBs that are already on the roster. None of them sound like great improvements. None of them will get you to the Super Bowl, but like they're slightly better options than what you got.
Yeah. And this is actually kind of surprising news. The Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones spoke to reporters on Monday, asked about Amari Cooper's future. He said it's too early for me to address that. Yeah, it's looking. I mean, Cooper has a $22 million cap hit this season, and they would save $16 million by letting him go if they were to move on from him. So who knows? Dallas could be moving on from Amari. Michael Gallup is a free agent. They could be losing 2 weapons.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to be happening. Dallas is kind of not like their window's closing, but it is. Zeke's getting older as you go. You got all these contracts expiring or coming with big paydays.
He mentioned in the same interview that they're definitely bringing Zeke back. That they're retaining Zeke.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people are actually like thinking that the Cowboys should move on from Zeke. Maybe go forward with Pollard for now. Maybe draft a running back somewhere. But it's looking like they want to just kind of keep it going with them somehow. Maybe sign them to a 1-year, 2-year deal, kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah, they must really just like Zeke,
Yeah, they must.
Probably a good player. They're just trying to stay loyal to him. I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't know either.
I would rather keep Amari Cooper, but my heart wants to keep Zeke because he's a Buckeye,
I understand. And another player we already talked about here a little bit. Why don't they want him, man? Carson Wentz, Chris Ballard with the Colts on the criticism of Carson Wentz said, most of it is pretty fair. It'll be interesting to see how he grows from this, and I think he will. And the same interview, they asked about his future with Indianapolis, and he said, I don't have a direct answer for you. We're working through it. Ultimately, we'll do what's best for the Colts. So it doesn't seem like the GM has a lot of faith in Carson Wentz as of right now. And then Frank Reich had pretty much, they were asking him the same questions. And he said, I believe in Carson. I stuck my neck out for him. I believe he's going to have a lot of success playing quarterback, whether that's here or somewhere else. Like, that's his exact quote, like, from Frank Reich.
Oh, man, he gone.
He gone.
He gone. And they're just waiting for a better option to pop up. They're just like, we don't really know what's going on right now. It's just kind of, he'll be a great quarterback regardless of where he plays, whether it's here or Jacksonville.
Making Howie Rose would look like a genius.
Yeah.
So first it was Sam Bradford. We fleeced, we got rid of him, and now Carson Wentz. We knew when to get out when the getting was good. I could see him going to Pittsburgh as well. I feel like he'd be kind of like a Big Ben 2.0 in a way.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Always throwing themselves in harm's way.
He'll
make some big throws for you.
He'll end up getting fucked up and then not being able to play through it like Ben was playing through things,
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. But maybe if they get that O-line worked out, or whatever, maybe they could do something.
I don't know.
But who knows? I mean, it's looking more and more likely that Carson Wentz is not going to be with the Indianapolis Colts this year.
A better option for Pittsburgh than any of the other quarterbacks you mentioned earlier, though.
I kind of believe you.
Better than
I do believe you. I
Jameis.
feel like he's more talented than most of those other QBs.
Right. I don't know. We'll see.
He just needs to work on just like, I don't know, just decision making, man.
Straight up.
Like, stop trying to get hurt every play. Like, try not, like, he's trying to do too much every single play. It's like, bro, just chill. You gotta chill, man.
It's crazy.
Take what the play gives you. Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to undergo shoulder surgery that would sideline him until this summer. But they're expecting him to be back here for training camp, if, wherever he may be. It's still possible.
Traded him yet.
Yeah, they haven't traded him yet. But it's still possible that they do trade him, even though he underwent surgery and everything. Yeah. But he will be ready for the season.
I can absolutely see all of that happening. They'll probably trade him while he's recovering from the injury and everything. I don't think they're gonna wait to see how he is by that time.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's actually everything I have as far as NFL. I don't know if there's anything I missed here, Vern.
Yeah, the only two things I had here, I had that the Kyler Murray's agent was talking about how they want a massive extension. That's like one of the things.
Yeah,
like they want some type of massive extension that just to guarantee his future and his like contract and everything like that, which makes sense.
Just putting him on the spot.
That's some crazy, like out of nowhere, early, stuff right there. But then the Raiders and Jags, it was announced, is going to be the Hall of Fame game for next year. So that's Raiders Jags next year for the Hall of Fame game.
Okay.
But that's all I had there.
That'll be the first game of old Dougie P's tenure.
And Josh McDaniels. Well, he's been a coach before,
and Josh McDaniels.
But two rookie coaches, quote unquote, first year coaches.
That's true. Damn. But that's all you have for NFL?
Yep. That's all I had for the NFL there.
Okay. Before we go into the NBA news, we're going to just get this out here. The MLBPA player leaders agreed unanimously not to accept the MLB's final proposal, and there's going to be no deal on the collective bargaining agreement for the MLB's 5 p.m. deadline. And it's already been announced. They are already canceling games. They already canceled the first 2 series of the season, and there could possibly be more.
Yep,
as
that's
well.
just the first day or couple days. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and the couple days they'll cancel more and more.
This is the first time in 27 years the MLB is losing regular season games due to a work stoppage.
It's ridiculous.
Not a good look.
And we saw this coming during the COVID pandemic thing, like while everything was going on, because the MLB was the only ones that couldn't figure anything out. So like we knew the next time the CBA was coming around, there was going to be so many issues that they were so far apart on. And like I said, we don't even pay that much attention to baseball, and we know this. So it's just ridiculous. They really need to get together and figure something out here.
Yeah, and apparently the MLB were like the owners and everything were trying to add like new stuff in at like the last minute as well. Like they weren't even talking about. So it's like, what's going on here?
Nobody's on the same page.
Yeah, and
nobody
pretty much
trusts
everybody's
anybody.
Taking it out on Rob Manfred right now.
He probably deserves it. He probably does deserve it.
But yeah, we just wanted to talk about that because that's huge news going on right now. I mean, we don't talk about MLB too much except for, the big stuff. And this is probably the biggest out of the big stuff you can talk about.
It might not happen next year.
It might not happen. What's going on with baseball? MLB? Because this, MLB is already, kind of going on the decline. It's already like not a lot of people are interested in baseball. There's been just people talking about it every year. Like it's too slow. How do you speed up the game? This and that. And I think even with like not being able to reach an agreement with your players and then you're canceling games, it's not going to help things going forward. I think
this is just terrible.
It's not a good look.
Terrible look for them going forward. And I know they'll still be around, but it's just not helping them at all. It's just going to make it even less interesting. People are like, oh, there's no baseball. Just it's ridiculous.
I totally agree. But with that said, we were going to roll right into all the NBA talk you can ask for here. Who's on your hot and not list this week, Vern?
So it's a little bit of a shorter list here. Not too many teams streaking like crazy, but we do got some good teams here. Denver is the hottest team with a 6-game winning streak. They're 8-2 over the last 10. Got Miami, who are looking great, man. They're looking prime position to make a deep playoff run here.
Yeah.
But they're on a 4-game streak, 9-1 over the last 10 games. I got the Clippers, unfortunately, on a 3-game winning streak, 6-4 over the last 10. And then the 76ers, with James Harden playing games now, they're on a 3-game streak at 6-4 over the last 10. So the Sixers are doing nice as well there.
Yeah, he's been hooping for him.
That
injury healed up pretty fast.
Yeah.
From the Nets.
And he's already setting like different records and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a nice. They're gonna be a dangerous team in the East. There, they got like 20 games to get it together before the playoffs. So it'd be nice to see them.
Yeah, playoffs are quickly approaching here for the NBA.
Which is bad news for a couple of these teams here that I'm going to talk about next. The not list, okay? One team that we know is not making the playoffs, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Houston, on my list again every week.
Already do it.
9-game losing streak right now. 1-9 over the last 10 games.
It's 10 as of right now. It went up to 10 as we were talking. They lost tonight.
It's 10-game losing streak for Houston. Congratulations, okay? You take it again or something? What's going on? Get John Wall out of there. New York Knicks on a 5-game losing streak. 1-9 over the last 10. Man, it's crazy how much things changed from last year. And,
yeah, I mean, even the beginning of this season, the Knicks started off pretty hot.
Right, and now they're kind of just fumbling around there. They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of teams that are just fumbling around, not knowing who they are, Los Angeles Lakers on a 2-game losing streak. It's not too terrible, but they're 3-7 over the last 10. They are terrible lately. Need to get it together. I don't understand what it is. There's no injuries.
Drinking. He walking into the arena with wine and stuff already.
He's checked out. He's checked out for the year already, man. He's worried about next year. He's thinking about Bronny's basketball games in the summer. He's checked out, and it is what it is. But that's why I had to put him on the not list. Is they're the first thing from hot right now. But that's it for the week.
Okay, we're right into the NBA news here. Isaiah Thomas is signing a 10-day deal with the Charlotte Hornets. So he's going to be on the active roster there. Good to see IT back. I know he had that little stint with you guys, right? I think he was on a 10-day contract.
Yep. A little bit fill in there.
Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets is expected to return here from injury mid-March. So that gives, you were saying, Denver's been rolling. Another piece added there. And they're also saying that they're expecting Jamal Murray here back by playoffs.
Nice. Perfect. So they'll be close to full strength there with everybody back there.
Exactly. So, look out for the Nuggets there come playoff time. 11-year NBA veteran Ramon Sessions has become a certified agent and started an independently owned firm, apparently.
Nice.
And he's actually bringing on 5-star McDonald's All-American and Arkansas commit Jordan Walsh.
Cool. I know he was with the Lakers for a minute there, so I got some love for Ramon Sessions. Hitting some threes.
I thought that was pretty cool. Brooklyn has no set timetable for Ben Simmons now because apparently he hurt his back during practice. He's out a little bit longer. He's going to miss the game against the 76ers coming up here this coming week.
This dude don't want to be a basketball player.
But they're saying they're expecting him to play here next week or so. Not looking likely now. So who knows what's going on with Ben Simmons.
Oh my
The saga
God.
continues.
Saga continues. He's still not on the court. James Harden got traded, healed up, lost all that weight, back on the court, setting records for the Sixers already by this point. Jeez.
Exactly. Markelle Fultz is making his return on Monday against the Pacers. He's been out since January 2021 with an ACL tear. So, good to see him back out on the court.
Yep.
Let me see here. Cleveland guard Rajon Rondo is going to be out 2 weeks with a toe sprain. Sprained toe.
Rondo.
Ronto.
Yeah. Wish him the best, man. Rondo win the chip with us.
The Pistons are reportedly bringing back their teal throwback jerseys.
Yeah,
here
with
this next season.
with the horse.
Yeah, with the horse, exactly. It looks like it has a fire mane on it.
Yeah. Those jerseys look awesome.
Yeah, they do look pretty cool. Which makes a question: are they going to be bringing super throwback jerseys next year? Maybe is that something that's going to be coming?
Maybe that'll be the theme that they're going with. in that year, you know?
Because they've been doing like the city jerseys the past couple years, like the different ones.
Right.
Maybe do like an actual retro thing
Like
next
they
year.
probably got something planned out in ahead. They're just kind of they let it know early, you know.
Yeah, they need to bring the sleeves back.
Yeah,
I like the sleeves.
I didn't mind them at all.
I
But
know Braun hated them. That's why they got rid of them. He's just like,
a lot of players hated those sleeves.
I remember Braun tore them shits off.
Yeah, he's like, get out of here. Why am I wearing these sleeves?
I'm not wearing these. Find me. And they're like, all right, we not gonna use them from now on, bro.
Fine,
Sorry.
bro. Fine.
New York Knicks Kemba Walker have agreed that the 4-time All-Star will be sidelined from the remainder of the team's schedule.
Yeah.
Man, they doing Kemba so dirty. They should have just got rid of him at the trade deadline.
They should have.
We wasting this dude's time for?
Now he's just
if you're not gonna play him.
It sucks. It's the same situation with like John Wall right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like these dudes could be playing.
Mm-hmm.
New York Mayor Eric Adams plans to end the COVID-19 vaccine mandate in the coming weeks, which may allow Nets Kyrie Irving to play home games eventually.
So he'll be able to play more than 8 games over the next 20. Awesome.
Yeah, and my guess is it's going to happen right before playoff time.
Yeah.
My guess.
Like,
interesting timing.
You know, we need the Nets need a lot more than just Kyrie Irving right now. It seemed like they were sliding there. I mean, they had won a couple games, but they're in trouble. They need KD more than they need Kyrie.
They're going to be sliding out of that play-in tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Soon. The last bit of news I had here was the Blazers center Jusuf Nurkic will miss at least a month with plantar fasciitis in his left foot.
Damn. Big dudes going down with foot injuries. Nothing new there, you know.
Nothing new there.
But I did have an interesting tidbit here. There was an unused Michael Jordan Bulls debut ticket. Okay. Sold for $468,000. This unused ticket from the debut of Michael Jordan with the Bulls. I was just like, man, that is insane. Like these little pieces of sports memorabilia and the value of some of them.
Didn't bother to go to game, just kept the ticket.
Yeah, just the ticket sold for $500,000. Just
that's nuts.
Crazy, man. I thought that was interesting.
MJ's debut.
You know, MJ's.
I feel bad for the dude. He didn't go see MJ debut.
Yeah, but he got $500,000. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's true. He could probably use that to like meet Michael Jordan or something.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Exactly. Go to a game, sit in a booth right next to. You know, figure it out.
Yeah,
but
you could
meet Michael Jordan for that much money. But that's all I had there.
Okay. Before we get into the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat, I did have a little bit of news across the leagues here. We're not going to get into the big picture on what's going on. We're just going to report the news here. Of course, the NHL just announced that they're suspending relationships with Russian business partners and pausing its Russian social and media sites.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also they remain concerned about the well-being of the players from Russia who play in the NHL on behalf of the NHL clubs and not on behalf of Russia. We understand that they have them and their families are being placed in an extremely difficult position. But, and it's happening in other places as well. Apparently Russia's been suspended from all international football, which includes both club and national teams. FIFA, UEFA has announced. So they're not going to be able to play in the World Cup, anything like that. Completely barred. So, I mean, that's just news that's going on. We're not going to go into, the big picture or anything. But it's crazy, man. It seems like, they're either barring them or, cutting them completely off, keeping an eye on some people.
Yeah. And I saw there were certain venues, there was a race, like a Formula One race, and then some other event that was supposed to take place there, and they straight pulled it, They were just like, we're not even going to have it here anymore. So, yeah, they're losing a lot of stuff as far as that goes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. And I'm sure it's just going to keep escalating from here. We'll probably get some more news by the time we do the show next week.
Yeah.
But we can roll right into the bias bubbles here. I know I don't really have too much. I don't know what you got here this week, Vern.
I don't have too much, but I do have one thing here for my Patriots. Do you know who Chris Olave is? He was the Buckeyes wide receiver.
Name sounds familiar.
I would love, like, he's like a first or second rounder. I think him and Mac Jones would be a perfect fit together. So I would love to see the Patriots use even a first round pick, mid to late first round pick there on Chris Olave. That'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be really awesome. I hope he doesn't kind of like boost up in the combine or anything like that, so he can stay like a late first rounder, second round pick, so the Patriots could scoop him up. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But as far as my Lakers, Shaq was talking about if we traded LeBron, we'll never win again. It's like some type of like old legend curse, you know,
putting a curse on you guys.
So like, please, we saw what happened last time with some situation like this with Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns. They got cursed, and then they never won again. Okay, the guy was literally like, "Yo, you won't win a championship for 50 years." Or no, it was the Lions. I'm sorry, the Lions. You know, in this situation, and then on the 50th year of the curse, it was the 0-16 season. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want to see anything like that happen to my Lakers. So please, just however LeBron leaves, do not do it via trade, please. Okay?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, do you think, or do you think they should, or do you think they will get rid of AD?
No.
You don't think they will?
No. AD is a centerpiece. He'll heal up. We'll get well, big man. He's a centerpiece. He ain't going nowhere. Get rid of everybody else.
Would you get rid of him before Braun?
No.
You would get rid of Braun before AD?
Oh yeah, 100 P. Because he's younger at this point, and we know LeBron's only got a couple years left, you know, of prime LeBron anyway. So if we're even still at prime LeBron years, you know, I know he's balling right now, but
yeah,
no, sorry. Get out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got AD is a piece that we could build around. I know LeBron is LeBron James, but he's also old LeBron James. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then apparently we waived DeAndre Jordan. Okay.
Yeah, I had that here in the news.
We signed Wenyen Gabriel and DJ Augustine. So that's one of them former Bulls right there. You know?
Yeah. And apparently I saw that the Sixers are linked to DeAndre Jordan already.
Yep, I saw that as well. Which, good on him, you know. I think we just waived them because we needed some different pieces there.
Do something else.
Apparently, the Lakers fans have been booing Russell Westbrook, you know, and he's just kind of like shaking it off. Like, it's bad, you know. We're 27-33, 9th in the West right now. About to slide out of the play-in tournament. It's just it's
not looking good.
Seen better days,
I saw a video of Jeannie Buss walking out at in the third quarter the other night.
Pissed.
You guys were losing.
Pissed. She's walking out
just
in shame. But that's all
not
I had
looking
there.
Good for them Lakers.
It's not, but at least we got a chip recently. You know, I'm happy with that.
Like, got one. From
it's been pretty bad the last 2 years here. We've been struggling, but we'll see. I hope we make the play-in tournament, but we'll see what happens. My expectations are not too high.
I really don't have too much this week. The only Eagles news I have, they made a roster move. They signed defensive tackle Renell Wren from the Bengals, apparently. I don't really know too much about this dude. He's only played, he hasn't played too many snaps under the Bengals. I think he was on a team prior to that as well. So, I mean, it's not really a noteworthy signing. It's just, it's news for the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's slow news for them here recently.
Exactly.
They do have an interview with Howie and Sirianni here coming up in the Combine. So, I don't know what's going to be within that. I don't know what they're going to ask. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about Hurts and QBs and stuff.
And Russ.
So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen here between now, the beginning of the new league year, free agency, and then who knows what's going to happen in the draft.
Yeah.
And I only have a couple here things with the Bulls, mainly DeMar DeRozan. He's the 7th player in NBA history with 8 straight 35-point games, matching Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and James Harden.
Now.
Yeah, it's actually over now. It ended last night.
Ah, man. Okay. He had a great streak there, man. He's playing like MVP.
Yeah, and I'm hoping so. I hope he gets it. That would be awesome, man.
Yeah.
And he continued his own record because he beat Wilt Chamberlain that record last week. he continued the NBA record for 35-point games on 50% shooting or better through 8 games.
So is that still going?
So he holds that record. No, that's not going any longer because he didn't get 35. But he holds that record now. That's his record now.
Nice, man.
8 games
over
of 35 points on 50% shooting or better.
You got a record over Wilt, man. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
Because
that's something you don't hear about very often.
Right. People aren't going to touch that record for a while because Wilt's had it, like this whole time. It's 2022 and Wilt had a record still. I mean, he's got lots of records still, but just goes to show you how good DeRozan's balling right now. Yeah.
And the only thing I have here is, they got a tough string of games here. They expect Caruso back here hopefully in March sometime.
Okay.
Then, Patrick Williams is expected back then, and then Lonzo Ball is expected to be last. They're hoping they can all be back by the end of March. I'm hoping so because they got a tough string of games here, and they might slide down a little bit, because the defense is just not there.
Yeah.
As of lately, they just lost to the Grizzlies the other night. John Morant's tearing it up with the Grizzlies. And then they just lost to the Heat last night, I believe it was.
2 good teams,
and then and then they have. I think they play the Hawks, the Chicago has beaten every game this season, and then they have to play the Sixers. They have to play, I think, the Bucks again, and then there's a couple tough games coming up here that they have to get ready for. So they could slide down because I think they're only 2 games ahead of the Sixers there on the standings, and they're already a game behind the Heat now. So for that first place spot, so they could slide down here, but so. They can get some people back sooner or later. That'd be nice. Because I think once they get that defense back, with Caruso and Lonzo and P. Will, that team's going to reach full potential. But hopefully they can do something here in the playoffs. I don't expect them to win a chip this year.
But it's possible.
It's possible. Anything's possible, in the NBA. But I think, there may be a couple pieces away from, really being a contender, so hopefully they can add them here coming this offseason.
We'll see if you guys have the depth to make a playoff run.
Exactly. I think we're only a couple moves away from that. I don't know if it's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
I think mainly, the health is the real issue right now with missing, Caruso, who is easily the best defensive player on the team, and then Lonzo, who contributes on both sides of the ball. And then Patrick Williams, who he's played like 8 games for us at the beginning of the season, and he has a great defense. So bringing him back will be nice as well.
It'll definitely boost that defense for the playoffs. Exactly.
And that's what you're going to need against some of these top teams. But that's all I have, this week. So we'll go right into the crazy sports fact of the podcast. We're going to pick in the NFL this week. The 2012 through 2015 Seattle Seahawks are the only team in the Super Bowl era to lead the NFL in fewest points allowed for 4 straight seasons.
Jeez, that's that Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom.
Man, that defense was historic, and it's crazy that they only got 1 Super Bowl out of it, but they did.
Should have had 2.
They should have had 2.
They would have ran that ball.
Should have ran the ball, but it is what it is. Russell Wilson should have 2 Super Bowls right now, but Tom Brady's got 7 instead.
Tom Brady would only have 6 if it wasn't if they would have ran that ball.
But that's crazy.
People talk about the Legion of the Boom, but you don't really. That kind of puts it in perspective how great they were. 4 straight seasons of allowing the fewest points. That's
better
crazy.
Than like the Bears. The Bears are like 75 Bears and everything that you always hear. They were better than that apparently. Like that's amazing, man. And
I feel like with defense, it's so hard to be consistent year in, year out, too. I feel like no matter how good you are, I feel like defenses always fluctuate from year to year.
Exactly, because you have all these pieces always moving. Contracts get bigger and bigger if you have success in the first place. So there's a lot that goes into defense, and you always got this is a passing league, so it's,
Yeah, I feel like it's easier to, to kind of keep momentum on an offense maybe year in, year out than it is, a defense.
Absolutely.
But that's the crazy sports fact of the podcast this week, them Seattle Seahawks. So make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out all the content on Waves 5 Media. We got a ton of stuff, coming out now. In the future, we got a lot of content planned for you as well, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure to go follow us at Squad Pod Sports on Twitter as well. Try to get us up to 1K. We're super close now, so any help is appreciated. And I'm hoping there's gonna be a lot of big news here.
We should
coming
have
in within the next
some
week.
big news with everything with the draft going on here and the combine. We're definitely gonna have a lot to report on.
Yeah, and who knows what's gonna happen with the MLB here within the next week. We could be having even more games canceled by then. So next week, make sure to tune in for all that news, and we'll see everybody later.
Peace.